G'day guys, how are you going? So the Excalibur is the all-new reward tank that you get for completing the first set of missions in the Personal Missions 2.0. And this tank is really weird looking. You'll either love this tank or you'll really hate it. I personally really like it because it's just so weird and it's just so odd, but a lot of people might not like it. So I'm curious, do you like it or do you not like it? Vote up now. Be really interesting to see what you guys think. But let's just get right into it and have a look at the tank. So let's start off with the gun. Now the gun is a pretty remarkable gun. This thing has a base DPM of 2,250, which is really big. In fact, it's only second at tier 6 to the German Jagdpanzer IV. But its penetration is quite low at only 165 millimeters. And what that means is that you will need to switch to premium rounds when you're versing tier 7 or above heavy tanks. Interestingly, the damage of the Excalibur is quite low at 150 millimeters, and I say that's interesting because this tank, when it was introduced into the super test, had two versions, the 76 millimeter, which is the one we have now, or the 105 millimeter, which had the classic derp gun on it. I personally probably would have wanted to see the derp gun because it would have made this tank just even more quirky, but then again, having another derp tank at tier 5, or sorry, tier 6 rather, would just be really quite it just keep breaking the game. But by having such a small alpha damage, that means that this tank fires with my setup with a gun rammer every 3.3 seconds. This thing is like an autoloader. And its gun handling is extremely good. This thing has an aim time of 1.6 seconds, which is just so fast, and fastest, one of the fastest in the entire game. And with a dispersion value of 0.3, this tank is also really accurate, especially for a tier 6 tank. And these stats are made even better by some of the best hidden dispersion values at tier 6. And so what that means is that this tank is just an awesome sniper. It is just so good at sniping. And this tank is really good at sniping, especially because it has 200 degrees of turret travel in the tank, meaning that you don't even have to move the tank to be able to face the enemy most of the time. And if you don't want to expose much of your tank, which you won't want to do in the Excalibur, you can use its insane 10 degrees of gun depression to hide behind ridge lines, or use the 200 degrees of turret traverse to not have to move your tank. And as I said, you will want to be hiding this tank because it really does not have very good armor. The front of the tank has a claimed 50 millimeters of armor, but really you're not going to get much better than that 50 millimeters. And what that means is that pretty much every single tank you come across will be able to go through this tank like absolute butter. Now you might get some weird bounces here and there because this tank does have some strange angles, but definitely do not rely on the armor, because 99.9% of the time you will not bounce anything. And of course, the sides and the rear of this tank, which make it look like just a giant box, are only 25 millimeters on the side and 15 millimeters on the rear. So this thing is easily penetrated by HE shells of everything it will come up against, and that is something you need to consider, and that is why you want to be hiding most of this tank. Speed-wise, this thing is a bloody pocket rocket. It has a respectable power to weight ratio of 18.2 horsepower to ton, which is by no means extremely fast, but it is definitely fast at accelerating, and it will reach its top speed of 50 kilometers per hour. And its tank traverse is actually not all that bad either, at 35 degrees per second, which for a tank destroyer at tier 6 is around about average. So this tank is not, ELC mobile standards, but it's still very fast, especially for being such a cumbersome looking tank. Things to note as well is that this thing can stay hidden when it is sniping because it does have very good camo values. With my setup of a camo crew, camouflage all over the tank, and a camo net, I'm getting around 50% camouflage value, which is really, really good. It means that you can stay hidden in this tank for practically the entire game. And I've combined that with binoculars so I can push that 360 base view range that this tank has all the way up to its maximum 445 meter view range. And that means that this tank is great at picking up the spotting damage as well. Now, very quickly before you all click off this video, I am going to be starting a Twitch stream in Monday, not this coming Monday, but the Monday afterwards. I'll leave down some links down in the bottom and some times about when I'm going to be doing it. It'll be great to see you around, and there will be a competition where I'll be giving away a tier 8, tier 7 and tier 5 tank probably by the end of this month. So definitely do tune into that. It'll be really easy to pick up because there aren't going to be that many followers, I can almost guarantee it. But let me know what you guys think. Is this a tank that you guys are going to want to be grinding for? I don't think it'll be a necessarily hard grind, but you know, you'll still have to grind for it. Or is it just a tank that you don't care about and you don't want it in your garage? Let me know. Again, vote up top. And of course, thank you very much for watching this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll catch you next time.